Hello students, so if you see here I have some newspaper placed down on the bottom of where I'm painting so that I don't accidentally make any marks or splashes on the table. I'm going to start off with the largest size of watercolor paper that I have. I'm going to select the color. This time it's a red. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to start painting my watercolor canvas. And I want to paint the whole canvas in its entirety, so that from corner to corner everything is filled in with color, with really cool bright color. I'm going to do pretty loose painting, so if you see here I'm not worrying about drawing any specific shape or faces or things like that. I just want to make sure that the texture looks really interesting and that I'm focusing on just sort of the abstract qualities of it. I want it to look unique. So if you see here, just kind of lightly going over the canvas, experimenting with putting water down first and then going in with color, as well as starting with color and then putting water on top of it. This is really just an opportunity for me to experiment in just different applications of applying paint on the canvas. So if you see here, this is me trying to make a more interesting canvas by using the paintbrush to blot the purple down. It's creating a pretty cool effect. If you notice from my left hand is I was putting my fingers on the canvas, and I thought it created a pretty cool sort of effect. So then I started just going over the entire canvas, pressing down with my fingers, and you see that little dot effect that it makes. So again, I'm just kind of going over it, trying to make an interesting look at the canvas. Something very abstract and different. Again, going over with that effect of just kind of touching the canvas with my fingertips and creating that little effect. So I'm going to go ahead and let that one dry, and then I'm going to move on to one of the smaller canvases that we have in our collection of watercolor papers. And this time I'm going to start out with yellow. So I'm dipping water first, and now I'm dipping in the water first and then going back with the color. Just really experimenting and using my brain and my creativity to just go all out and do the canvas, paint the canvas. The wet and just experimenting with different applications, changing the color. So brown here, and this is like a little banana. It looks like a rotten banana. Don't be afraid to try anything during this process. This is a chance for you to sort of, release your creativity, and there is no boundaries, okay? There's never a wrong answer either. So just really have fun and be creative during this process is what it's meant for. So when I'm finished with the smaller one, I'm going to move on to the other smaller one around the same size. I'm going to just do the same exact thing that I was doing for the past two canvases. Again, applying water loading my brush with water and then color. Experimenting with different colors, different ways of using the paintbrush to apply paint to the canvas. The way that you put paint on the canvas, as you can sort of tell from this video, the way that you spread the paint along the canvas is going to change the way that it looks. If I do like a zigzag, you can see that the shapes kind of show up zigzag. If I use my fingers to spread it around, it makes a different effect. So I'm going to wait for these to dry. So now that my canvases are all dry and ready to go, I'm going to go on the unpainted side and draw an outline of what I want my cat's head and ears to look like. So again, I'm drawing this on the back side of the canvas, the side that was not painted on. This way, when I start cutting this out, I can have a clear visual at what needs to be cut out. Again, this can be a very loose drawing of what you want the overall shape to be. It doesn't have to be exact. No one is going to see this drawing. So again, I'm done with the head, so I'm going to move on, and now I'm going to be doing the eyes. So your eyes do not have to look like these eyes. Your head does not have to look like this head. It's all up to you what you want to do. Now I'm going to be drawing the nose. So again, this is the back side of the watercolor paper. And then I'm going to begin cutting the pieces out.
Those little scissors.
I'm cutting these pieces out just like we did in the snake project, the snake cutting project. I'm going to start off first by doing a very loose cut around the entire shape, and then I'm going to go back in again and get closer and closer to the line. So I got my nose, now I'm going to move on to cutting my head out, the head and the ears. Again, I'm doing a very loose cut around the head first, and then from there, I'm going to get closer and closer to the black line that I drew. Remember that to keep your scissors attached to sort of like your belly button region. And then what did we do? The alligator. Remember, we keep chopping and we move our left hand. We don't move the scissors. We move the paper around.
Yeah, November 3rd, elementary, go to the
So
parade.
did the rough cut, and now going back in to get closer to the line that was created.
And that's all. Yeah, click go to course. And then you'll get an email and it'll,
There's two of them in there, because my bodies keep making more bodies.
this is a thing.
I'm going to take the scraps that I used, and I'm going to put them in a single pile so that when I'm done, I can collect them and throw them in the garbage. Again, you can see here more of a clear shot. I'm not moving the scissors to cut the paper. I'm moving the paper and letting the scissors do the work. There's one of the eyes. I'll move on to the other eye. Starting off with cutting out big chunks from the paper so then I can get move closer to the line that I drew. So now that I have all the pieces cut out, mine looks more like a pig than it does a cat, but that's okay. On the back side of our non-painted side of our canvases, I'm going to put some glue down and then secure it to a place on the cat. I'm going to do the nose as well. Again, the non-painted side, but with glue placed down. From there, I'm going to grab a Sharpie so I can add the mouth.
Gonna do what I can when I can do it, and I'm gonna spend the rest of the day.
And I'm going to draw some eyeballs on the cat as well.
Tagging skills on assignments because I have.
So this is my pig-looking cat in the Carl style.